very good day to you all. Good day. Allow us to begin this interaction by acknowledging that we have now, as we have spoken of before, arrived at timing, the crux point of the transition from the orbit of your planet that was dedicated to shifting gears, setting things up, putting things in order, transitioning to the orbit of your planet dedicated to things becoming known, actions being taken, and information being revealed in more open, direct, and straightforward methodologies than before. As we spoke of several years ago, your 1992 year would be highly accelerated for most individuals who had given themselves the opportunity to hitch a ride, as you say, to the wave of change, and that they would find themselves, in a sense, cut-free, in many instances and situations, cut-free from past expectations, past scenarios, past endeavors, past methodologies that would no longer be working for them in the same way that they used to, would find themselves, in a sense, cast adrift in limbo states of change, and would see that they would begin to set up foundations for new endeavors, new ideas, new pathways. And we have said before that your year 1993 would be the time of great revelations, when the first acknowledgments, the first revelations could begin to come forth of things that would change your global awareness, change your global identity. 1993 is the first year, the first orbit of these revelations, the first year of the major changes. All that is done before has been to set up these ideas, to crystallize and solidify the pathways that would be taken. And your 1992 was, in a sense, the last orbit wherein these paths would be laid down. And from this point forward, what has been laid down will be acted out. Now that you have allowed yourselves to ride the wave of change, allowed yourselves to begin to move or be moved in the direction of the revelation of new ideas, new reflections, new identities, new undertakings, new aspects of yourselves, now will many of these ideas be revealed so that you can act upon them, so that they can create vast change in your individual and collective sociological lives. So, it could be said, though of course we would prefer to take this in a positive way, as always, that 1993 can be known as the year of upheaval, the year of upside down, the year of inside out, where many things that have heretofore been hidden will be unlocked and revealed, and it will be the beginning of these revelations as they will continue from 93 to approximately 97. This does not mean that there will not be revelations beyond that, but this intense period of your 93 to 97 will turn everything around, will put many societies, many individuals at odds with things that heretofore sustain them, or things that heretofore could be tolerated in their lives, will put many individuals who are perhaps still functioning from some of the old belief systems at odds with other individuals, with other societies, with other situations, with other cultures, outside and inside your own culture. You'll be at odds. More and more, there will be abrupt shifts, abrupt turnarounds, and more, the information that does come out will be winnowed down to its essence, to its core, and all the chaff will begin to fall away. The streamlined skeleton will begin to be revealed of the way you have laid your future out, and your timing, where you are and when you are there, with regard to the other things that will be going on in your reality, will say a lot to you and reflect a lot to you about the paths that you have chosen, and reinforce for all of you that you have chosen things and paths and ideas that will allow you to know that you can be a part of the great positive shift rather than fall into the crevices and the cracks that may occur that will still be reflective of those individuals who have chosen the shift in a negative way. In and around your 1993 March and April months, there will be abrupt shifts, abrupt change, great probabilities and possibilities of individuals having to come to terms and to grips with new lifestyles, new ways, new understandings very quickly. As I have said, in your October month, more revelations of information, some extraterrestrial in nature, some information between 93 and 95 that has to do with the revelation of old information long since buried, long since hidden, coming to the forefront. 94 will be a great year of revelation for this, the breaking through of walls and the revelation of knowledge long hidden. More and more acceleration will you perceive, but more and more, as we said, paring away, more and more streamlining, more and more stripping of the non-essentials, so that even though you will experience great acceleration, it will be easier to handle the acceleration because there will be fewer and fewer things that are extraneous in your lives. More and more only will be the focus in your lives of the things that are important to you. And thus only those things will you need to be concerned about and focused upon, and thus you'll be able to handle all of them, even though great the acceleration will be. You all follow along?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All of you?
Yeah.
Thank you. There may be more of this information now that we will discuss during this interaction, but at this time we will also open up to you for interaction in dialogue, if you wish. Yes.
You speak of upside downness.
Yes.
Is that on all levels, or are you talking specifically about government, or does this take place on all levels all the way to relationships?
It has the potential to occur on any level that is in track or in sync with the idea of the wave of change. It will occur, it will manifest in certain specific ways, in certain ideas of government, in certain ideas of geological shifts, in certain ideas of relationships. There will be an upside downness in the sense that what was heretofore assumed to be the norm will be turned upside down, so that new ideas and new considerations will begin to be revealed and understood about the way things can function, and give all individuals involved a new opportunity to explore things they had heretofore not understood were possible to consider. Upside downness in the sense of a jar containing things that when turned upside down will spill all those things out on the table to be revealed, to be considered, to be discussed for the very first time rather than remaining in the jar where they have been for a long time. You understand?
Yes.
Yes?
I'd like to know your perceptions on the Clinton Gore presidency regarding these changes that are coming.
One moment. Now that you have all made the decision and finalized your political election, we can comment a little bit further than we had the ability to comment on before the election. One moment. There will be also in the March-April months an internal revelation, internal in the political system, that will cause much reversal of thought, much rethinking of old ideas. There will be much concern for your new present administration in the sense of a trial by fire, forcing themselves through a small hole, knowing that they must only take through that hole what is essential in order to emerge on the other side and survive. There will be a test, there will be a trial in the March-April time frame, thereabouts, for your new administration because of internal information on many different levels. And it will then be a very important turning point for your entire culture as to what happens from that point forward and what is possible, and what kind of communication system will be allowed in your society, and who will finally make the decisions. Look to this time for a great shifting in consciousness and a great deal of polarity, polarization within the population. There may be a great deal of fear, there may be a great deal of information that would underline the idea of fear, but it will take great steel and great fortitude, and most importantly, and I cannot underline this enough, most importantly, it will take great support on the part of the population through communication to the administration from the individuals in your society. It will take great support and faith that you can make the transition, that you can all believe and make the transition in a positive and beneficial way. Understood?
Yes. Does this have anything to do with revealing the nature of what we know as the United States government?
Yes.
People will know?
There will be internal information that will be finally seen by your present administration as what you would call a threat to the further existence of what you would call your republic. And they will recognize that an action and a decision must be made. Or at that point, and I do not mean to be overly dramatic about this, for there is always other routes to take, but at that point, if you wish to continue on some semblance of what you now recognize as a political system, at that point, if certain decisions are not made and certain actions are not taken, then it will be from that point forward impossible to regain. Impossible in the present system to regain your public power. Do you understand?
You're suggesting that the original republic will...
Listen to me closely. Your present administration, in your March and April months, will become aware internally of information that will let them understand what has been done to suppress the idea of freedom. They will recognize at that point that if certain actions are not taken, it will be impossible to regain that freedom without the complete dissolution of the system. Your support is essential in allowing them to know that there are individuals who know that they can function as self-empowered individuals, to reinstate the faith of the administration that is so, that you can have an idea that is something, some new idea, some new method, some new idea, some new system can begin to be created that will be more reflective of the earlier ideal, but there will be a crisis internally.
Is that one of the reasons why Rossborough has expanded out to keep open his networks of people and information?
Unconsciously,
Well,
yes.
That's the way I've been feeling. Anyway.
Yes.
That's what my hope is.
This plays a large part in some of these ideas, though there will be other things as well.
That's also why a lot of the gay rights issues have come up. It's even getting people that are not within the gay and lesbian scene much more involved as far as personal rights, freedom, choices, things like that.
The whole issue of freedom of choice is paramount, and all these ideas are peripherally attached to it, yes.
I have some friends who are stressing that it's extremely important to reenact and re-embody the original mechanisms of freedom that this country was set up on.
To some degree, although some of those even must be changed and altered and simplified. A real understanding, a real simplification must be laid down so that there is the ability within all individuals in your society to understand it on a visceral level, on an emotional level, to understand it in their actions. It must be simplified, but yet it is an opportunity to really understand what some of the original intentions were and to allow actions in the future to align with those intentions, which for a long time they have not been aligned with.
Bashar?
Yes.
It's some people's belief that our government has had extraterrestrial contact, like agreements and treaties made with us,
Yes.
certain EP groups.
Okay.
In the past, do you know if Bill Clinton has been introduced to this idea?
Not fully,
or
no.
if he's aware of it?
Not fully, no. There will be a briefing.
And I have a sense of hope that he will break open all the cover-up, the government
Initially,
cover-up.
no. But because of the crisis to come, it will be recognized internally that it must be so. That something must be laid down to allow the information to come out in a certain way. If we say much more about this, we will actually jeopardize individuals internally.
So then may I ask,
Well, I'd like to answer that.
the internal problem is due to the alien connection?
It is due primarily to something which has allowed the connection to continue in its present form, which is simply the disconnection of communication within your internal government structure. For you have not one but several autonomous governmental structures in parallel.
I know what you're talking about. Have a good deal.
This is the crisis that will be recognized, and in a sense will be realized that certain individuals will begin to know that there must be a way to act on this, yet in a way that will not allow them to be discovered, so that they can lay down certain foundations to prevent the solidification of this parallelism to take place.
So what do you think about us, or those who want to form an informal network to inform the administration before this happens?
Once again, it will be simply our best recommendation, whether you form an informal network or not, that each of you primarily act as an individual, giving them your support in communication and your faith. That such is something that can be achieved, and such is the direction that you prefer it would go. More importantly than spending time forming a network, a sufficient network would simply be that enough of you act individually, in concert. You can form a network, but do not spend too much time putting your energy toward the idea of the formation of the network. Our recommendation would be spending more energy toward the communication and your support.
Bashar?
Yay.
I'd like to know a little bit more about the change that's happening now between you and Daryl. So, do you want me to be more specific?
Yes.
I guess I'd like to know, will you be channeling, or what you perceive to be, I know that there's a lot happening within Daryl's personal life, so that's obviously dependent and that you guys have a code agreement about that. I'd like to know...
You guys, yes. Thank you.
Dude, sorry. So I'd like to know if you see yourself still channeling to Daryl. Is anybody, are you going to be channeling to anyone else?
Which is your real question.
Which is my real question.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, as I have said, now and then there will be an opportunity and a necessity for us to channel through the present channel for very specific information delivered to very specific groups of people at very specific timed events.
But there's no specific number of times,
No.
more or less.
No. Though, we may find that it may be about 9 more times.
Per year or just period?
Again, it will be perhaps mostly once a year, and perhaps therefore maybe 9 more times.
Okay.
Though there may be opportunities for it to be twice or 3 times a year toward the end of this accelerated timing.
Okay.
With regard to other individuals, our energy in general is still to some degree now and then being made available to assist other individuals to make certain shifts within themselves. Never, however, on a continuing basis will we channel through anyone. We will, from time to time, touch in, and also other members of our species will, which sometimes may be confused for my particular persona. But we will give the whole title of Bashar simply to the recognition of the vibration of our reality. And this, from time to time, because people are familiar with it by that vibrational name, they will tap into, but only for the purpose of assisting them to make certain shifts, not for the purpose of continuing to channel our energy or our vibration through them on a regular basis.
Understood.
Does that help?
Yes, that does help.
Thank you.
What will you be doing?
Many things. As we have already said, we are now still in the process of helping to regulate the shifting energy upon your planet through our physical proximity. We are still 3,000 miles above Cairo. And our ship and our energy and our reality and our consciousness is being used like a circuit, like a chip as you understand it, to help regulate the flow of energy on your planet and transform it into something that can allow some of the transformations in some places upon your planet to be experienced in a more positive way. We do what we can when we are allowed to. We act as a safety valve in that sense when we are allowed to. We are not doing anything against the collective consciousness of your planet. So in that sense, we are not saving you. We are not doing it for you. We are not taking the brunt, as you say, of the weight upon our shoulders. We are simply acting by choice as a regulatory valve, because it is now allowed to have certain regulatory valves implanted within your collective consciousness. Thus, we volunteered to be one. You understand?
Yes.
I will be doing that probably, as we said, up until about the March month. Then, certain flows of information and certain flows of energy, as we have already outlined to some degree, will take such forms that our presence probably won't make any difference. And so we will, in that sense, expand a bit and let, as you say, the chips fall where they may. We will have done all we can up to that point.
When you say we, and I sense that there's more than just you, Bashar, on your ship. Is there one ship, or do you have...
On my ship now there is me, but I say we because we are always in concert with other beings of my species, of other species, and so forth, and there are other ships.
I have one more question, and then that's it. This is kind of a sensitive subject, and that I know that I'm sort of bridging the lines here between the
personal.
Yes, the personal with what's going on with the channel.
Right.
But I'm interested if you're willing to comment in any positive way with the situation regarding the Blueprint for Change book. I don't know if you feel open to doing that, but if there's anything positive that you might wish to say on your behalf on the information that you've given and how you would like to see it put out there.
The major recognition that we can comment on is that the circumstances have existed as they have existed for the purpose of pushing the channel in the direction of creating the information in the format that the channel desires it to be in, and getting the information out there in the way that the channel desires to get it out there. So in a sense, the channel has created for himself barriers and obstacles and pathways that force him down a certain route that make him finally make the decision to act in certain ways that he was heretofore not acting upon. In terms of getting the information out in the way that he feels is representative.
Well, you mean simply that it's representative to put it out in its form.
Yes, and in other forms.
In another form.
But in so doing, it will eventually, in time, supplant the other information that is out there in the way that it's being presented, because the only purpose of that other information is being presented in the way that it is to get the channel to act in the way that the channel is now acting.
So you're saying that from a broader perspective, the original book being put out there specifically to force the channel to
take responsibility. There are other connected peripheral ideas to it, but they do not really have immediately to do with the channel, and so we will not comment on those right now.
Okay.
But primarily, to answer your direct question, it is for the purpose of getting the channel up in a certain direction.
So my last tangent question then would be, is there anything positive that you wish to say to the individual who put that book out without integrity? I'm adding my own voice there. That's not your statement, but...
Understood?
Okay.
One moment. We are weighing all the ramifications of making a comment at this point.
Understood.
reconciliation is possible only when there is no separation between the information, its source, and its vehicle. That is my comment.
I understand that.
Thank you.
So having listened to your Keith Ascension tape pretty religiously for the last 4 or 5 months, a lot of great things have been going on. I know it's not just in my body, but it's in friends around me. Right now, major earache, equilibrium is off.
Okay.
Keith has close nasal drip. Other people around me have head cold. What is going on there? To me, it seems like a release of all the chakras moving up as opposed to where they used to go down. It's like stuck in the neck.
There are a variety of external reasons, but they are all part and parcel of adjustments. Adjustments to the energy, the fluctuations and changes taking place. You must really understand that there are real, true electromagnetic adjustments going on in the collective energy of your society. And each of you, according to the degree of your sensitivity and according to your vibration at any given moment, will have different actions and reactions and responses to those shifts in energy, which will then reveal to you exactly what areas you are still dealing with within your own reality system.
Seems like for a lot of people in the head, what would that represent?
A reorientation of consciousness. How you look at things, how you listen to things, how you say things.
Is that also the reason why I'm having an internal battle with my own mind?
In some sense, although there may be some other peripheral situations that are connected to that as well. You are heading toward the mountains.
Yes.
This is good. So the mountains will be clarified.
I just know it happens to be going on for a lot of people around me. I know it wasn't
Yes. All those that have chosen to ride the wave will experience to some degree these ideas you are now expressing. Because each of you will make your own adjustments as you go. One moment. You must also understand that it is part and parcel, and this is perhaps even more important, that you are learning or relearning processing itself. You are redefining the whole concept of process. And this is, to some degree, to a great degree, what you are experiencing.
I don't understand.
As you experience certain things, as certain aspects of your collective consciousness come to the forefront for you to deal with, as you say,
Right.
you have, in the past, dealt with them in certain ways. You are now relearning how to deal with them in new ways. This idea, in and of itself, is almost more important than anything that you deal with, how you deal with it. You are relearning the process itself, so that all the things you deal with can be dealt with more easily. As we said a little bit earlier, you are stripping away all the non-essentials, so that even though there may be a great deal of acceleration, you'll only be dealing with the things that are essential, and in that sense it will be easier for you. It is the stripping away that you are experiencing. Layer after layer after layer after layer. When a layer is peeled, there may be a little bit of discomfort here and there in different areas of your physiological body, but you know that a layer is being peeled. Some of you are experiencing a little bit more peeling than others.
Thank you. I have a question or questions which I'm going to ask in a personal sense, but I think everyone here is dealing with it. We're sensing the future. I'm sensing the future as becoming more malleable,
Of course,
more changeable.
you are sensing the present as becoming more malleable.
Yeah. And not only sensing the change, but sensing that I can have a greater degree in part.
Of course.
So taking part in the change.
Of course,
Doing what I want.
because you are more and more every day recognizing that it is the changes within you that determine the changes within your reality, and that there is no difference.
Okay. The other part of it is that the things that I'm dreaming, in terms of building a place to live in the land that I want, the type of architecture, that this dream, this vision that I have, and it's also intimately wound up with the idea of relationship, which has to be a new structure of how we relate to each other. The resources to create that dream are not at hand, but yet I'm feeling the closeness of the creation.
Yeah.
There's frustration and a tension, and frequently a doubt comes from that as to whether or not it's real.
Yes, but this is because there is still a segregation in your definition between the ethereal template and the physical reality. Because you sense that it is real in the etheric template.
Okay, yeah. Now,
But you are still learning the process of jumping the gap. Of allowing you to create no gap at all. So that the etheric template and the physical reality are one and the same thing. As long as there is a gap, That is the frustration that you are feeling. Learn to redefine the reality of the etheric template as the same thing as physical reality, and you will create less and less of a gap, and then it will become one thing. The resources will then reveal themselves because they must, because the etheric reality will be just as real as the physical.
Could this be off in the distance, so to speak, for me because of my choice to have other people involved and they are also learning to create this?
One moment. Kimberly. Kimberly. A triangle of steel, 6 inches on a side, 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch thick. A triangle of steel, kept in proximity when you sleep, is going to aid and assist in allowing there to be more conscious recollection and control, because it will have the direct effect of tapping you into a grounded source of energy that will not allow there to be as much manipulation from the other side. You will de-gauze, demagnetize, depotentialize the idea of the ability of those energies to be manipulated. Do you understand?
I didn't understand the last one.
That artifact will aid and assist in amplifying your consciousness to make it more equal to the consciousnesses that already exercise control over different levels of consciousness. You will be on more equal footing. 6 inches on a side, steel, 1/8 to 1/4 inch thick. Perhaps 1/4 would be best.
1/4. Got it. And since you're talking to me,
Yes.
I have 3 questions.
Yes.
Other than being an FSE, Bashar, I feel really driven to expose the government cover-up.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, it's taken a lot of my energy, and I'm wondering if I can relax, and if I do, if my desire for that exposure to occur will happen naturally without my assistance. In other words, do I have a part to play in the exposing of what's going on?
Yes.
So I should follow that.
Yes, but it does not have to be a source of frustration or pain. You can, in a very relaxed manner, communicate, rather than thinking of it as exposure. Allow yourself to communicate what is important to you, communicate the experience, and be, as we have already suggested, supportive, as you are being.
Okay.
But that is what is important.
Yeah, exposing is a lot of energy, but I don't want to...
Just communicate, share, and support with others of like experience.
Okay.
And share the information when and where it seems important and proper, and when and where it is easy and enjoyable for you to do so. But it does not have to be a sacrificial task, but it is important that you continue to share.
Okay. That makes sense. Great. My second question is, I learned in my abductions to pop I did this once, pop from their reality back into my reality.
Yes,
And I'm wondering, is that the reality you live in?
to some degree, although its vibration is slightly different.
So if I have learned to do that, is it possible that I can learn to pop into your reality or other extraterrestrial realities that I prefer?
In a sense, when you pop into any one, you already pass through all the others. So yes, it is a matter of refinement, of discernment, that when you do the popping, as you say, you recognize that in the middle of the pop there is a limbo state that contains all possible reality, and refining your sense of direction to be able to perceive another vibration in the middle of the pop that you would like to go in the direction of. You understand? Rather than just making it a two-way street, it is actually an infinite hub.
Right. I got an image. Yeah. With that.
And question 3.
Question 3 is, which is more curious than asking for the channeling. But once you told me that there was a possibility I could channel one of 3 of your society, an older man, a younger man, and a female.
Yes.
And it sounded to me that what you said about earlier about the star, the energy of the star not coming through here anymore, was that you in particular, or was that your society?
Me in particular.
So then that possibility still exists.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
It still exists, and as we said, any time it is recognized that our particular persona is tapped in, it is for the purpose of aid and assistance to allow other entities and other individual connections to be made.
Right.
Does that assist you?
Yes, it does.
Thank you. You may continue if you wish.
Okay.
I have one more question, sir. What color is steel? Just leave it the steel color? The 6x6x6? Okay.
Do not paint it. It can be chromed if you wish, but it does not have to be.
So just the raw steel.
But it should be, in a sense, at least toward the silver end.
Okay.
So in that sense, perhaps at least polished.
Oh, got it.
Yes.
Sorry.
What?
Sorry for interrupting.
What?
Don't be sorry.
I'm not sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll restate the vision which I have and which I'm finding many of my friends have also, in some variation of that. And it involves land, it involves new architectural structures, which will incorporate new relationships
Yes.
of families.
Yes.
Okay, and not blood families necessarily.
Yes. And what are you doing about this?
I think about it, I talk to people.
And what are you doing about it?
I'm not doing anything.
Why not?
I don't know how to take action on it.
You don't?
No. Maybe it's not time.
Tell us to see it, too.
Maybe, this is what I'm thinking. Maybe I have hidden issues with relationships, which will not allow the other aspects to come into being.
To some degree, that is true. But that's all right. You can use bringing this idea together as a process to help you also understand the idea of relationships. But you must act. Put together a plan. Do something that gives you the ability to create tools to share this idea with other people. Put the team together. Start bringing the people together by putting out there the idea in all the ways you can, in ways that allow other people to get the idea in the strongest way they possibly can. Information, pictures, models, whatever it takes. Do all that you can to make the idea as real as you can for them. Then they will help you make it real for all of it. You simply may not be doing quite enough.
Oh, right.
You understand?
Yeah. I wasn't going to ask you. Do you have any insight on any hidden issues that I'm not aware of concerning relationships?
Yes.
You're going to tell us.
If I tell you, they won't be hidden anymore.
Well, I always leave open that I'm not seeing something, despite the direction I want to go in. So.
We will give you some assistance in a way that will allow you to keep this personal and private. In your next meditation, meditate on a black square.
Okay. The black square. Oh.
Hold on.
She's going to know something.
A black square. You will then receive assistance to help you have more insight into those hidden ideas, because the black square will put you in the proper vibration that will allow others to help you.
Okay. Sounds like magic.
Good. You need to get a little more of that back. That is simply the device that will allow your consciousness to go into the proper frequency mode to receive the information that will help you, that we will not give you here because it is something that you should receive personally. But we are being told what doorway for you to focus on that will aid and assist you in receiving the information that will come from your guides in the easiest possible way. So we're being told to tell you, focus in your meditation on a black square, and information that will assist you with that question will come through that doorway.
Okay.
It will put you in the proper state to be more receptive.
Okay. If it's appropriate, you could download that to your own and maybe give it a
We are giving you the black square because it is not appropriate.
Okay. Understood.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just have a question. Driving over here,
Yes.
after I passed the Arizona-New Mexico border, I fell asleep.
Yes.
And in the dream, and I started having a dream. And all of a sudden, this woman appeared to me. It was about in her 60s. And I don't know if I was overhearing the conversation or what, but what I was hearing was that this woman had witnessed a crash in the late 1940s of a disc in New Mexico. Now, I didn't know if it was Roswell or not. And I woke up, and she had also not spoken out.
Yes, there were two primary crashers, and there are a few witnesses that have not come forward. This is one.
Because
There are at least two others that we are aware of. There may be more, but we are aware of at least three that most individuals do not know about.
Because I fell back asleep about 2 hours later and went right back into the dream and got more information about it.
It has been impressed upon the energy of the area.
Oh, so I was picking up that.
Yes, it is like reading the Akashic records of the particular locale.
Interesting.
You were getting a history lesson, in a sense.
Was she connected by chance to the archaeology students? Or there was a group of students I read that witnessed the crash?
It is a little bit different.
We can drive back through that area. Going back.
I suppose you could.
Bashar?
Right.
Speaking of that area and crashes, I had a meditation not too long ago,
Right.
and in the meditation I experienced myself as a data in a craft that was falling, that was crashing.
Yes.
Do you know what that was about?
Yes.
Yeah.
And now, to some degree, you understand a little more clearly why the message came through so long ago that said, "You are we."
So that was
Yes.
I was
Yes.
crashing. Do you know where that crash crashed?
One moment. We find that there are probable timelines that will allow us to name either what you would call your Palm Springs area or either what you would call your Arizona area.
Well, I did fall to Earth.
Speaking on the contact line, recently mentioned a Tim that's been a FFD, and a flashback on a dream that actually it wasn't a dream, it was an altered state that I had about a month ago, where I was actually on the craft and was taken into the room where babies are in a big, large glass tank.
Yes.
What was that all about?
What do you mean? What's not obvious about that?
Well, first off, I was very calm. It was one of the very first where I felt I had accepted them and they had accepted me on my terms to be with them. So it was the first time we were walking side by side.
There is more to it than that, and more will be revealed. But just for now to say, it was simply a recognition of a very straightforward experience. Many of you have been aboard those crafts and seen what you have just described. I know. And there is a reason for that.
What was interesting, looking at that, I just took a corporate job that is very corporate. And I'm not sure how I'm going to incorporate all this into
no other. And thus, until such time as there is more revelation publicly of these things, to where you feel you can relax your control, you will, by your own choice, exercise a restriction and a quarantine upon yourself from all such experiences, so that you will know, by your lack of experience of such things as other people might discuss, that you are still in control, for you have quarantined yourself on purpose. But when these things come to light, you will then be able to relax that at your own pace, in your own time, and you will eventually also begin in your own way to delight in the experiencing of the kind of sightings and interactions that some level of you desire. But not until it's on your own terms.
Then are you saying it would be it would be, say, fruitless to try to fix the situation in any way.
There is nothing wrong.
But you know what I mean.
Yes, I do. There's nothing to fix. You have your hand firmly on the switch. You will turn it back on when you feel it's appropriate. When you feel that you are respected and in control.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes, I understand.
But you are nevertheless delivering a lot of energy to the support of the incubation on your own terms. Because you recognize their potential. For which I will thank you, because it has a lot to do with the successful culmination of the program that resulted in my species. Do you understand?
Yes.
Thank you.
Right.
Bashar,
Yes!
this Christmas has been very special in that all of us are together. There's Lisa and Keith and Kim and Erica and of course Daryl. And we're all together at this time. Could you please comment on our soul connection? What
Yes, I will say
brought
this.
us together? Say it, tell them.
There is, within all realities, small realities that unto themselves are particular pictures made of particular puzzle pieces. You are all pieces of a particular puzzle that, when brought together, allow a catalyzation to occur, so that when you, in your own daily occurrences, go on your own ways, you take with you a seeding, a type of energy, seeding, that will allow you to unlock that which is hidden more easily. When you come together, you strengthen each other in certain ways that allow you to gain keys, to unlock things more easily on your own, because you recognize that you are not really alone. You have come together now because it is the timing to unlock more information, we have said, so that now when you move into your 1993 orbit, each of you will possess a stronger key to unlock a bigger lock of information for yourself individually and for your world collectively and also for your immediate family.
Would I be a part of that team?
If you were not, you would not exist now in the present to hear this that we are saying.
Do you see any star origin that we may have in common?
All of you?
Yes.
We would have to reach back into quite ancient times to find an absolute common foundation for all of you. You have all twisted and turned and taken many paths since then.
But I feel that we've come from, familiarity from the...
Well, there are general,
Yes.
there are general Lyran connections for most of you. Although, not as strong for some. One moment. How do I name a realm that does not have a name with you?
The nameless realm.
No, it is not the source. It is a bubble. It is a bubble reality that you all did share. But it was long after the idea of a single source. Of course you all come from a single source. That does not need to be said. But you are asking for specifics, and so we are defining that there is a specific bubble reality even before Lyra. Way before. Long before. One moment. Not in your dimension, not in your understanding of reality. A bubble. One moment. An initiation bubble reality. Initiation bubble reality of particular magnetic dimensionality, a particular magnetic style of consciousness, particular magnetic style of spirit, which contains many probabilities, which did thus branch out into the many things you now know. The commonality of all that you understand the segregation to be, all found its way back to that bubble reality before Lyra, way beyond Vega, way beyond. One moment. Some of it is connected to the idea of an Andromedan source, but even that is an offshoot. Even that is only a cradle for many bubbles. One moment, one moment, one moment, one moment. Three, 5, 7. Harmonic vibration, bubble frequency, reality, 3, 5, 7.
Write that down, Johnny.
Is it these, sir? Yes.
I can figure that.
Harmonic frequency bubble reality 357.
This is the earliest manifestation of commonality for the consciousness we perceive before us now that we can find. It is true that there must be earlier ones, but it is the earliest one we can find that has any relationship at all to the reality that you now call real. And that is the only way we can label it. But there are things within that title that do relate to things that are very important about your present reality and can, in some sense, be decoded by you. End of commentary. We thank you all at this time of coming together for coming together, both as individuals with each other and as individuals within yourselves, for that is the most important coming together that you can have. All other coming togethers will not occur until the coming together occurs within each of you. You are doing this, you are moving ahead. You are riding the wave, so continue to do so, and you will be in alignment. Allow your actions to align with your intentions, and things will smooth out. Vibrations will smooth out. Allow yourself this smoothness, dissolve into it. We thank you for allowing us to experience the different exciting ways that each of you have expressed your particular aspect of the collective consciousness. We thank you for all your flavors. Pleasant dreams to you. We thank you for dreaming us. We thank you for allowing us to dream with you. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, Joe. Thanks a lot, Joe.
Thank you.
How'd it go for you?
Strange.
Yeah?
I think you need some water.
The light was still.
Well, I've got your former address, Daryl. 3, 5.
Harmonic frequency bubble reality 357.
Cost you a lot down here. Also, it was like the information was more segregated than normal, like it was coming from many different sources. Like Bashar was functioning even more purely as a switchboard this time.
Yeah, I got the impression at the very end when he was trying to come up with the frequency or whatever for Johnny's name, that it was almost like he had to hook into the computer on a deeper level so that he could work with it.
If that's what the last thing was, then that's to some degree accurate. It felt like he was scanning way, way out somewhere in some real just dark, black nothingness.
Like he was riding this wave of energy to get there.
Yeah, it took a long time, whatever it was.
Almost like a measuring.
Yeah, something without a label.
Yeah.
How do you name a non-reality? An
It was
unreality.
unreal.
It felt like association was there too.
Well, yes, but in the sense, and in fact, maybe, well, yes, but I've never felt it all be quite so compartmentalized. It was really like real discrete pieces of information were coming from real discrete specific places.
So you're talking about the whole session or the last
The whole session.
Yeah, I felt like your hand movement.
Yeah,
Right?
that was a different move.
Yeah.
A lot of energy.
especially when talking about the craft. When we talk about the craft.
Hmm.
So fun.
Yeah, it was great.